Oh boy. Okay. All right. We're live. I'm doing this for the first goddamn time in my goddamn life. Let's fucking do this. Um, absolute apology. I'm just gonna wait till somebody actually shows up before I start apologizing. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna wait till at least one person is here before I start spouting out apologies. Oh, look, someone's here. Hello. Who might you be? Talking chat. Don't mind him. Hey, Alex. Oh, man. Oh, it's a long-time viewer of me. Now I have someone to be embarrassed about this, too. um, yeah. Hi, how's it going? How's it going? This is my first ever time streaming, and I am trying to figure out how it works, and I actually spent about an hour looking for guides on how to make the YouTube chat appear in my stream, and I kept running into errors that absolutely no guide told me about, so... I'm just, hey guys, I am just going to be looking at chat in another window. It's not appearing on the stream, but don't worry, I can see you. Hey, AJ. Um, this is my first time streaming, and I'm playing a game that is basically one of my comfort games. One of those games I can just play with absolutely no thought because my brain is currently cooked. I've been sending in applications to a bunch of jobs. I need to file a goddamn FAFSA. I'm going to a grad school in September, and I still don't have student loans yet, which is a big problem. I am not in control of my life right now. But you know, what better time to be playing video games than when you have important responsibilities to attend to? So Metroid, god damn it, I cannot stand how goddamn long this intro is and how it's completely unskippable. I think it's unskippable. Is it unskippable once you beat the game? I don't know. I don't know. So, I don't know what you guys came here to listen to me talk about, but I am going to be playing Metroid Dread and talking about Chainsaw Man, the most recent Chainsaw Man. I don't know if you guys know what happened to the most recent Chainsaw Man, but in the most recent Chainsaw Man, the most wild um, so there's been actually a lot of discourse about it, which I'm not going to get into too much, but basically it was an entire chapter of Denji Chainsaw Man getting a hand job, and I'm still kind of in shock from Tuesday, and I just need to ramble about it to absolutely no one. Um, yeah, you've been pretty heavily... God, you are being blocked, whatever. There is literally something blocking half of your message in the YouTube UI, but yeah, everyone's been talking about it. It has been quite... I was there when it dropped. I was there on June 4th when everything went down, when... when Fujimoto burnt down the kitchen. That's the joke that everyone talks about, because, you know, people talk about... and, you know, Chainsaw Man is very popular with that particular crowd of people, that group of people who are, you know, the type of people to say Kino and stuff like that. And they're always talking about how Fujimoto was cooking. It's called the Fujimoto cycle. Tatsuki Fujimoto comes up with some random thing, and you go, Fujimoto, what's going on? What's going on? Oh my god, Fujimoto is a genius. What's going on? What's going on? And yeah, the Fujimoto is a genius part is often called, you know, the he's cooking part compared to the it's over part. You know, it's literally never been more over, and then, oh my god, he's cooking. And some people say that he cooked so hard he burned down the goddamn kitchen. So, all right. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with me from my very early days on Tumblr, but I got my start in internet content creation as a vehement shipper of a particular Ruby ship. And, you know, just kind of a general thing about me is that I am absolutely... The cutscene still isn't over! Sorry. That basically the one thing that I am absolutely crazy about more than anything else in this world is probably shipping. Yeah, yeah, Alex, I am surprised it got that much hate, too. Like, oh my god, like, this is maybe the 5th time that Denji gets molested, and now all of a sudden people have an issue with it. It's absolutely insane. Like, I think it's because it was, like, 20 straight pages of him getting a hand job. That might have been what kind of, like, brought it over the edge. But, alright, okay, so... Cutscene's still not over. I just want to play Metroid. Denji. Okay, so Chainsaw Man is a very thematic story. It's always trying to like say something, but it's never, you know, it's also like really really silly about it. Like Denji's a very silly protagonist, and so it's always trying to strike this balance between the very serious undertones of it. Yeah, exactly. So you have like the topics of sexual assault filtered through the mind of a teenager who only thinks about boobs, and like that that's the whole point, right? And so there is like almost something about this chapter that's almost comedic in just like almost it makes you like laugh uncomfortably. And I think some people are, that's kind of like the whole fan base's reaction. It's like, ha ha ha! Oh my god, a dentist just got a hand job behind the Denny's, and it's just like everyone, that's everyone's first reaction because like, how else are you going to react to that? But I feel like the majority of Chainsaw Man readers like genuinely do appreciate, like you can simultaneously appreciate it as something that is like genuinely like the wildest thing that's ever happened in the world. Like no one just like writes like that except for Fiji Motor, right? And so there is this level of like uh there is this level of kind of like shock and awe and kind of like laughing at it, but like I don't think that means that we necessarily like take it less seriously than we're supposed to be taking it. No, okay, no, this is the one that you. All right. But yeah, so I'm a huge Asa Den shipper. I am Asa and Denji. I want them. I hope that they just get the happiest ending of all time, and that's like 20% of the reason that I'm currently reading Chainsaw Man. And I was already a Chainsaw Man fan before this. I actually used to be a pretty hardcore Denji power shipper, but like that just was not in the cards in any way, shape, form, or context. I just Denji just deserves so much happiness, and there's all these like little moments with Asa, right? Like even in like recent moments, there was that moment where she, um, looked at Katana Man and just like chastised him for like smoking on the train, or maybe it was like littering or something like that, and it just so much reminded me of that time that like Denji like yelled at Power for throwing away vegetables that farmers worked hard for, like to make or something like that. And it's just there's so much like every time they're allowed to just like be kids together, it's so like cute and like messy and like it, I almost want to say that it's like romance in a way that like couldn't have happened outside of the 21st century in terms of like writing conventions and like the degree to which we're I don't know, there's just something so internet culture about the very specific way. Okay, I'm just looking at chat for the first time in a bit. I've personally never been the shiver type, but Denji and Asha's relationship definitely is the best part of the manga for me. Oh my god, so much, right? Like everyone's like a lot of people complain about part two. Personally, I like part two more than part one, and I'm pretty sure a lot of it is because of Asa and Denji. Um, it's so good, right? Because there is this certain aspect to romantic storytelling, like the part where you try to sell the audience on them as a ship, like as in like that they have a lot of chemistry, versus when you sell them on it as like a plot hook, right? Like the premise of like Asa wanting to like date Denji so that she can turn him into a sword, but like then it turns into comedic hijinks. That's a great plot, but like it's not necessarily it doesn't necessarily mean that they're a good couple together, but you know, a lot of romance stories, one of the most frustrating things that can happen is when they delay the part where they sell you on them actually being good together as a couple indefinitely, or even just kind of forget to do it. I think that, but also when you do it immediately, it can feel a little bit hokey and can take away from the more dramatic elements of the story, right? It makes it feel too much like, you know, like the author is winking and nudging at you, and not in like the way that like Tatsuki Fujimoto does, where he's like laughing at you, but in the way that it's like, hey, look at these guys. They're gonna get married someday, but they're not aware of it. And like, don't get me wrong, I love that stuff. But for a story like Chainsaw, like there is this balance that Tatsuki Fujimoto has like put out there, where it's like obviously Asa is Denji's love interest, but it's like almost like the entertainment value at first is how completely dysfunctional they are until the aquarium. And then in the aquarium, it was just, you know what I mean? Like, oh my god, like everything was going wrong, and like, you had Asa with the negative Riz talking about starfish, and then when everything was going wrong, you had Denji like go up to her and like doesn't his conversation involve him like bringing up specific information that she mentioned during that rant? Like he brings up some of the stuff that she told him about starfish because like he was actually listening, right? Like and there was just all these stuff like that, and then it's just like he saw things in her that she doesn't really see in herself and that other people weren't seeing in herself. Like, you know, when she got like kind of like edgy and cocky, he was like, I like that. Like that reminds me of power. Like that's good. I like it when I see that in people. And she's like, yeah, I am awesome. I am the best. Other people should love me. Yeah. And it was just this really sweet moment. Um, and it's just there's so many great little details. Like when she really fell in love with Denji and when she fell in love with the Chainsaw Man version of Denji, both of those moments just felt, I guess, earned is the word that I would use for it, right? Like, it wasn't just like they see each other like from like opposite sides of like the aquarium tank and they start blushing. It's like, no, it starts with them like arguing with each other and like making and just like kind of hating each other. And just like being complete like messy bitches about it, which is like because like they're teenagers, right? They've got stuff to work out, and then you realize, oh wait, like when they actually get to talking, they're good at helping each other like work stuff out. And like Asa judges him at first, but then like she realizes they're not so different, and then she kind of like falls in love. My favorite thing from the Falling Devil arc, like specifically with regards to Asa and Denji, was when Denji got the motorcycle and he's like, I don't know how to drive this. And then she just said like, Chainsaw Man motorcycle, go! And he's just like, yeah, sure, I can ride with that. And he just like suddenly unlocks a new secret technique just because she came up with an attack name for it. And it's just like, oh my god, like have 5 babies right now. Like, not right now, you're like 16, but like, you know what I mean, right? Like, oh my god, get married. This is that really falls into like, I think I was susceptible to that because that falls to a romantic trope that I'm a really, really big fan of. If you can tell by some of the romances that I've gushed about on my channel, which is very specifically, okay. Oh, the best way to portray realistic relationships is where the natural tension between the two characters that are driven by the individual thought. Exactly. And like, what are Asa and Denji but a bundling of individual flaws, loosely connected by redeeming moments. God, I love my messy losers. I love them so much. Don't have the morph ball. But yeah, like a thing that I am really susceptible to as a consumer. Come over here. Come over here. Come over here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just like a thing that I'm super goddamn susceptible to is like stuff where it's about like it's showing off how much fun they have together. You know what I mean? Where it's like nothing will make me like ship 2 characters more than them just nerding out about something or like being the exact same type of doofus and like being the only 2 people laughing at like the same bad jokes. You know what I mean? Like goals. And so yeah, that one really, really got me. But I think I could have done that early. Whatever. Yeah, oh, got some phlegm. Yes, but you had the Falling Titan arc, so Chainsaw Man Part 2, it's kind of had like I think it was like about 6 arcs so far. So you had like the kind of intro arc with the what was her name? Asa's friend. Yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I was just eating something greasy a little bit earlier. So ooh, I got the map. Yeah, Yuko, exactly. Yuko, sparkle emoji, sparkle emoji. All bullies shall go to hell. Slash J slash HJ. Okay, I'm sorry. But I was just watching that a couple of days ago. I'm not sure if you guys have seen that one. Best Chainsaw Man content on the internet other than it itself. That guy, the guy who makes those like he made these two like Chainsaw Man like fan dub fan scene things. He is understands the characters as well as Fujimoto does. My ADHD is getting. What was I talking about before this? Right, I was talking about the goddamn plot of Chainsaw Man. Um, okay, if you're not gonna attack me, I'm gonna attack you. Oh my god. Okay, so there we go. Oh my god. I was stuck in the animation. There we go. So you start with like the intro, like the Yuko plot line, and it kind of it ends with Denji saving Asa, damsel in distress style, or kind of not really. It was a little more complicated than damsel in distress thing. She kind of destroyed like half the school, I'm pretty sure. But um, after that, you have the aquarium arc, and that's kind of like mirroring the what do you call it? It was sort of mirroring the where is this motherfucker? Oh, there he is. Okay, well I'm dead. Um, that was kind of like mirroring the hotel arc, right? With the Eternity Devil. I mean, it was the exact same goddamn devil. And after that, you have the Falling Titan arc, which was, I guess, like kind of the equivalent of the Katana Man arc. But it was a lot more intense. It was kind of more similar to the Darkness Devil, like the primal. It was a primal fear devil. But and that kind of it was kind of like the last of the episodic stuff, like just like the episodic nonsense of like these two idiot teenagers having these like little run-ins with each other where they slowly start falling in love. And after that you had the Fire Devil arc. And now we're kind of we're kind of on a fifth arc right now, which I guess would be the which way do you go from here? Is it this way? No. It's yeah, and after the Fire Devil arc, you're kind of on this like what would you call it? Like the Fami arc? I don't even know what like the arc's gonna be called. But you had those things to kind of like the setup that kind of like sold us the first three arcs, kind of selling us on Asa and Denji and how they're super goddamn adorable. And then you had the Fire. I almost said the Fire Titan, the Fire Devil arc, where everything is just going absolutely crazy. But the thing about the Fire Devil arc, so like that's Fami's plan, right? Or Fami's plan, because like famine is Fami. And it was kind of Fami's third plan, kind of her third strategy that she's tried. And the other plans were the aquarium, like the Eternity Devil, and the Falling Devil. Almost called it the Falling Titan. I don't know. I think it's because I recently was watching some Attack on Titan with my dad. I introduced that to him. But oh, excuse me. The thing about both of those scenes is that come hand. Oh yes, yeah, we're going to get to the come hand. I'm building up to it. um, so the thing about Asa and Denji is that it has a very particular relationship with Fami as a character. She isn't like specifically opposing it, but every time those two choose to connect as a as a duo, it winds up like it winds up ruining Fami's plan, right? It was like them bonding is what got them to come up with a plan to escape the aquarium. And then you had the Nega Chainsaw Man who was trying to get Denji to save Asa, right? He was like, if you can protect her, then assumably whatever like time travel plan he's got going on, because I'm just assuming that's Denji from the future, right? And surely that's gonna like save everything. And it's like this like almost weird power of love angle where it's like, oh yeah, like protecting her is gonna do, but like it did, like that ruined Fami's plan. And just like like the story of Chainsaw, it's kind of got three antagonists. You've got like the big bad coming in, come, ha ha ha, come. And then like two groups of people who are like preparing for it in different ways. I still don't know what Yoshida's angle is, but Fami's angle is definitely like about preparing Denji, or I guess Pochita, and Yoru to be warriors to defend the world and defend Papa John's, right? Because like she just like wants to keep eating pizza, and that's like her motivation. Real fire punch energy to that reveal. But where do we go from here? Oh yeah, over here. God, yeah, okay, good. He's over there. And so you have like what was I just saying? What was it? Yeah, yeah. So yeah. So in a way, so it's not like Fami's trying to destroy the world. So it's not like foiling her plans saves the world, but it's almost like a rejection of her thesis. Like she's trying to save the world in a very specific way, and it kind of feels like the story is saying her way is not the right way, and Asa and Denji kind of keep interfering with that. And that brings us to the come hand. We're finally at the goddamn come hand. I believe that whatever happens with Asa and Denji is going to be a thorn in Fami's side. And so we get to the come hand, right? And the come hand is so goddamn fucking weird, because it's like, okay, let's list all of the times that Denji got molested, right? Okay, so Denji gets molested, episode 1, was Machina with the boob touch, right? Like he was like, I want to touch boobs, and she's like, here, touch my boobs without your consent. And so he touches her boobs, and he kind of like freaks out, his hormones go wild, and she kind of like gains some sway over him because he thinks that that's what he wants. And now he feels like she's got all the control in the situation. He feels like indebted to her and beholden to her, and now he's in the palm of her goddamn hand. Hand, like come in hand. And then, so that's like Denji gets molested, number 1. Denji gets molested, episode 2, is probably Himeno, which is a little bit weird because it's one of the one times it wasn't an antagonist. She was just this drunk person who probably wasn't the greatest person in the world, but like ultimately was kind of like a friend of the good guys, and I don't know, like she ended up sacrificing herself for I know this person's name. He was my favorite character in part 1. Why can't I remember? Aki. And like she had like that big crush on Aki, and she wanted to save him, and she did. So that was Denji gets molested, number 2. It was just a little bit it was more just getting into Denji's psychology rather than making some like broad statement where he starts feeling kind of weird. I keep saying no to saving. That's gonna bite me. I'm just gonna save right the fuck now. Denji, he's got this very confused feelings, and then you have Machina, who's taking advantage of those confused feelings. And Himno's thing kind of like demonstrates just how confused and like lost he is. And then, okay, there we go. And then after that, part 1, I don't think he gets molested for the rest of part 1. But after part 1 ends, things go pretty unmolested for a little bit. He gets a pretty good like non-molestation streak going on, which is good. I strive for at least the same. But after that, we get to the Fire Devil arc with Hifune, I believe her name was. Was it Hifune? Somebody fact check me on that. But Karaoke Girl shows up. And she touches Denji Ding Dong. We got that absolutely iconic image of she's touching my dick or whatever it was, like she's touching my penis, and it always reminds me of that like one like a prison that one prison school edit where he's like going me pingy. I don't know if any of you guys have goddamn seen that. Fumiko, who the hell was Hifune? Is that like from a video game? I don't know. Fumiko. But I'm sure there's plenty of Japanese people named Hifune, considering I'm pretty sure it's just a Japanese name. But Fumiko comes in and she touches Ding Dong till he Denji, and now once again, whenever a pretty woman touches him, he feels like he's got to do whatever she says, and he always feels really, really guilty about it. And it's just he's feeling, and it just kind of makes him feel bad. And so, but eventually they kind of have some non-sexual bonding, and he's like, okay, I can kind of jive with this person, but all of it's predicated on that initial, her purposefully accelerating that relationship for her own benefit very early on. And because she does that, he feels more inclined to trust her when he shouldn't, because she fully intends on betraying him the moment she gets told to, right? That was one of the harshest parts of the Fire Devil arc, where Denji is about to get cut up, and she's just like, hey, can I have one of his pubes for my collection? Bye, Denji! Oh, what a bitch! Yeah, we don't like Fumiko in this household. We do not stand Fumiko. We do not stand a problematic queen. But I'm fine. Don't worry. Where do we go from here? Right. After we. Right. No. This is the one who gives me the grippy claws. Right. Yeah. I was thinking that was the boss. No. It's the Emmy that does that. Yeah. There we go. Optimal efficiency right there. But yeah, so that's Denji Gets Molested, episode 3. And after that, Denji gets cut up into a million pieces until... I guess we could call them the Squad? Question mark shows up in the facility where he's being held. And free him, like putting him back together. That scene of him getting put back together was really, really good. I just wish there was a little bit more of a reaction on Asa's part to realizing that Denji is Chainsaw Man. We kind of like went past that. I feel like we could have had a bit of like a I fell in love with this motherfucker twice moment. I'm sure we're gonna. Oh, I was distracted. No. I'll wait for you. You can do it again. Yay! There we go. All right, boss time. Woo! Okay, we got a cutscene here. But yes, that leads to this part where Denji is just depressed. And so here's the thing that it's like, I'm really going to like it if Fujimoto is doing what I think he is, and I'm not going to like it if he's not. There is a lot of talk about Denji like discussing what he thinks is right for him, and I am interpreting Denji as an unreliable narrator. You know what I mean? So it's like, he's like, everything is my dick's fault. And like, he's kind of been made to feel that way because like he's been, manipulated by people. But, like, I don't think, like, obviously, like, cutting off his dick isn't going to be what makes him happy. He used to think he wanted to be Chainsaw Man, but being, Chainsaw Man didn't suddenly make him happy, right? And it's so this kind of like confusing thing where like he's not sure what he wants. No, that was a good time. And it's like, and he's feeling all of this goddamn confusion, and like he's saying all this stuff. He doesn't know what he wants. He doesn't know what's right for him. Ooh, look at your ass. Okay. And in the middle of all of this, we get Denji Gets Molested, episode 4. This is the come in hand. This is what everyone was waiting for. This is the thing that I need to emotionally process. Yoru takes over. She was going to cut off his penis, right? That was the plan. Cut off Denji Ding Dong. But then she grabbed Denji Ding Dong, and and all of a sudden she awakens the memory. Oh, this is bad. Okay, thank you. There we go. And all of a sudden she like awakens this memory of like having kissed him that was like hidden from him. And I mean, that's interesting because it like got kind of like mentioned, right, like very briefly, this idea that maybe like Yoru was like starting to fall for Denji in some capacity, and like it was a little unclear whether this was due to her own like mental processes, or if it was like if it was just like Asa having like an effect on her. I think the first one, I always thought the first one would have been way funnier, but like now I'm not really thinking about haha funny romance tropes anymore. But basically, she remembers that Denji, you know, and she kissed one time. And I'm sure she's going to come up with a terrible explanation for why she did this, but it's very obvious that just in the heat of the moment, she was like, humana, wooga, hottie alert, and just started like trying to make out with him while her like hand was still on his penis. And Denji doesn't know what's going on. Denji doesn't even know that Asa and Yor are different people at this point. They've been switching back and forth, and he's been assuming it's the same person, and it probably kind of hurts, right? Because like he used to really like this chick, and he used to think that this chick really liked him. And it's funny because it's like it's this weird, it's this absolutely goddamn weird thing where like you want to say the way that you want to interpret all of this is that, oh, okay, Denji thinks that Asa likes him, and he's right. It's Yoru who doesn't like him, and when they keep switching back, that's what makes him confused. But it's like, one of the reasons that he thinks that she likes him is because she kissed him, and Yoru is legitimately the person who kissed him, right? Like, it's you know what I mean? I want to hear if you guys like are picking up what I'm putting down here with the right? Like that's exactly what this is. And anyways, so like that's one hand. So like there's this question of like, what is Yoru's psychology going into all of this, right? Like does she like Denji? Does she like Chainsaw Man? Is she doing all of this to ask Chainsaw Man out, like that one piece of fan art suggests? I mean, that's kind of funny, but they kind of already did that with Machina in part 1. Makima. Yeah, I guess I was thinking Xenoblade there. But that's one thing. And then you have the fact that Denji, there's a number of ways that this could go. One of the ways is you can do the classic thing where now that Denji is getting like, you know, he has this like real issue of like, oh, I think I want it, right? Like, you know, he is convinced that any woman who shows sexual interest to him, he needs to like suddenly jump on that, right? Because he has no self-esteem. And he, what I've been most interested in is actually getting Yoru's thought process. I made a pretty long post about the Chauncey Reddit. I feel like this may be Yoru's first time experiencing sexual desire. I mean, it definitely is the first time since she like died in hell and came to this world, right? Like, I don't know how old the War Devil is. I mean, like maybe they just don't build them like Denji down there, but it's definitely the first time that she's experienced it, like that she is aware of. I mean, it could also just be that like this is the first time she's possessing like a girl, like a human female's body, and so this is their first time like experiencing hormones that make you think that boys are cute. I mean, I've got some of those hormones too, but like, no, God, this is the thing I love about Metroid Dread. It's like you think like, oh, I'm gonna go through here. There's nothing but dead ends over here. You gotta shoot through these walls. And so I'm sure that whatever she thinks like is going on, she's going to like find a way to like rationalize this. You know what I mean? Like she's not gonna be like, I mean, I was doing that for purely like rational reasons, right? You know, because like she's not gonna just like sit here and be like, yeah, I'm down bad for Denji. I am down bad for the person I was trying to turn into a sword. God, I just remember the cum sword memes. I feel like there is an actual chance that's going to happen because it would be lore accurate, right? Like those are lore accurate memes right there. And like the thing is, you could probably make it a genuine character moment because I feel like Denji would be genuinely hurt by cum sword, right? Like not just like physically. Like I'm sure the cum sword would hurt, right? because Asa feels really guilty about it, right? I mean, she's almost certainly going to feel guilty about it, so the cum sword would actually be really fucking strong. Well, I guess she feels more guilty about owning it. I don't know. I don't know how the rules would transfer, but there's a very good chance that the cum sword is very, 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 very strong, right? I don't know if they're actually going to do the cum sword, but I forgot where my train of thought was before I went on that tangent. Ow. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Sorry. Cum sword got me. You're talking about Yoru making excuses, right? Yeah. I think, um, I don't think she's really going to fully come to terms to this. It's this funny thing, right? Because, so I'm this big Miraculous Ladybug fan. I haven't finished season 5 because my ADHD won't let me. But I'm a big, like, I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with the Love Square, but one of the biggest, like, innovations to, romance writing that, I doubt they invented it, but that they definitely, I guess, like, pioneer or kind of like trailblazed would be like a good word for it, since they're one of the first popular people to do it for sure. The concept of the Love Square. Marinette Dupenchang is in love with Adrian Agreste, who is the superhero Cat Noir, who is in love with the superhero Ladybug, who is Marinette Dupenchang. And so you have this thing where it's like, Marinette is like, okay, do I continue going after Adrian, or do I give Cat Noir a chance? And then it's like, and then for like it's Adrian, it's like, do I keep like, putting all of my stocks into Ladybug, or do I notice that this like girl who's always stuttering around me in math class, like, maybe I'm getting kind of a crush on her, and but then it's like also, okay, sorry. And and you wind up getting 2 characters with 4 ships. You had Adrianette for the 2 of them at school. You had Lady Noir for the 2 of them as superheroes. And then Marichat and what was the last one? Oh, what was the last one? What was the one for Adrian and Ladybug? It was not Adrabug. It was Lady. How am I forgetting this one? Ladrian. That it was Ladrian. That was always my least favorite. So but yeah, it's like Adrian and Marinette were this kind of like cute, like, like they're both like the same video games, and he's always like, wow, Marinette, you're such a good person to all of your friends, and I really, really respect you as a friend, right? So it was like that kind of thing. And sorry. And then you also have like and then you have like Lady Noir, which is kind of like, like best friends who are like kind of like shooting the shit. They're like bantering, and it's just like haha, Ladybug, like insert pun here about like the villain attack that you just like underwent. And then it's like, oh, this one always sucks. I think we just, yeah. Sorry, I gotta focus on this one. This one's one of the harder enemy sections in the game. Go in that hole. Go in there. Like, slide right in. Yeah, that's right. I don't want to make it sound like I'm getting off to this. Okay. Yeah, and then it's like you had a Ladrian, which was just like sweet lovebirds because like the feelings are mutual, and then you had Marichat, which is just like the classic like they're both kind of shitlords to each other, right? Like they're like it always had the energy of like it became a headcanon that like Cat Noir would call Marinette like princess as a nickname for some goddamn reason, and like it sounds like it was like these 4 things with these 4 different tones, and like I as like me and like my one other friend who I haven't talked to in like I think literally a year, from the Miraculous Ladybug fandom, who's we're investing both in Occident stocks and Love Square stocks, right? There was this theory that like Oh, right, yeah, I forgot. There's this theory that basically that Denji and Asa were going to enter a love square, right? Like where it was, you have Asa and Denji, Asa and Chainsaw Man, Yoru and Denji, and then Yoru and Chainsaw Man, right? And then it's just like this like weird like hokey pseudo love triangle thing. That didn't happen because they all like learned that like they were the same person way too soon. You know what I mean? But then there's this element of like I had this premonition, right? Because like I had this thought of something that would fit perfectly into Tatsuki Fujimoto's absolutely sadistic writing style, right? Where Denji just because she's the one who gave them a hand job, decides that he likes Yoru better, and that, like, hurts Asa's feelings, and he's like, oh god, I thought with my dick again, I hate myself, fuck. And I was just thinking, like, we better not get a Denji, Asa, Yoru love triangle. You know what I mean? Like, that was fun to joke about back when Yoru wasn't a sex offender. And, like, there are ways you can salvage it, right? Like, Yoru didn't really know what she was doing, but like at the end of the day, she did molest Denji, right? Like she did. Like that was Denji gets molested episode 4, and there isn't really any way around that. Like, however much people were like investing in like Yoru Denji stocks, right? And so I forget. Are we supposed to go up here? Yes, we are. And it's just so in a way, like, some of the fun has got sucked out, because, like, I'm not entirely sure we can salvage this as, like, a Yoru Denji, like, Asa thruple thing. You know what I mean? Because she also just kind of molested Asa in a way, right? Because, it was Asa's hand who did it. I think there are potentials. Yeah, you can definitely do it, but, like, the mood has been soured. There is a, down, yes, this way. Yeah, Alex, you're absolutely right. You can salvage it, and like trust the plan, but oh right, fuck right, yeah. It's rough. It's rough out here for anyone who might have been stripping these two. And like I was kind of like a fan of the thruple theory myself a while back. Oh god, oh fuck, oh boy, no, I just did a fucking, oh, I'm fucking dead. I just backtracked a shit ton, didn't I? Alright, Yellow Squad. We full send it. Anyways, what was I talking about? Yeah, Yoru Denji stocks. So I think that Asa Denji stocks are up. One of the things I can't, like, help but, like, thinking of is just, so this might, like, I'm almost wondering if this is gonna be, like, a trauma bonding thing for them. You know what I mean? Where, like, Asa and, like, Denji start, like, it's like he's like, why the hell did you do that? And she's like, I didn't do that. And he's like, why the hell did you come, you fucking pervert? Because she would absolutely say that. She would absolutely, like, blame it at first, like, while she's trying to, like, kind of, like, adjust to what's going on. And then just, no, I'm just looking for this to be, like, an Asa, an Asa Denji bonding moment. Because, like, my theory is that it's, like I said, that like post come hand, my theory is that either like before the fight or during the fight, Asa is going to decide, I don't want to fight Chainsaw Man anymore. I don't want to. I don't want to fucking hurt Denji anymore. I don't want to. I want to talk with Denji. I want to. I want to run away with him. And Fami's like, oh, fuck that. And like, they kind of have to turn against Fami and the gang, right? But then there's also like, like having to run against Yoshida. And then I think like we might get, because this is kind of like if we're doing like parallels here, this would be the place for the bounty hunter arc. And so I think like a multi-faction, super intense, like devil hunting, or like devil hunter and devil like what's it, like big fight would I think it'd be very very fitting for this part of the story. Yeah, this part we just full send. Um, ooh, map, yay. So that's kind of where my mind is with you know, like what's going to happen. So like I'm really hoping that at the end of this, Asa and Denji run away together, and we get like this small arc of just them cohabitating because they're both on the lam together. And it's kind of like an aquarium style bonding thing where they're arguing at first, but then it's like, I mean, like at some point, like Asa is just gonna have to straight up tell him that I want to save you because I am in love with you, like, and maybe he's gonna be like, and like I'm in love with you because of like all of that bonding that we had, and it was like this like very legitimate like real thing, right? Like with Fumiko, he was worried that it's just like, oh, she just wants Chainsaw Man, she doesn't want me, right? But then it's like when she thinks Chainsaw Man, like she's thinking about that person that she had a heart to heart with. She is thinking about Denji. You know what I mean? She's thinking about Denji as a superhero, and that's actually kind of a like an interesting thing. There's this question that's being raised of like, is Chainsaw Man what's good for Denji? You know what I mean? And Denji right now thinks that it's not. He almost feels like he has the same relationship with Chainsaw Man that like someone might have with like heroin, right? Like, oh yeah, just one more hit. Oh god, it ruined everything, and now my family's dead because I did one more hit of Chainsaw Man, right? Um, but this gets like I kind of did a Reddit post about this too. I had this theory that it's like Yoshida and Fami are kind of like almost offering two different parenting styles for Denji, right? Like they're both trying to guide him in different directions and telling him what's good for him. What? Yes. Okay, and I head this way. Ah! Okay. Yeah. All right. So if I was Samus, I'd be dead. But yeah, I was talking about. Oh, where was my mind? Them running away together, and then I thought up the. Uh-oh. Yeah. There we go. But yeah, overall I forgot what I was talking about, as per usual. But just I don't know, I just fucking want them to be happy, man. They deserve. Yeah, the difference in parenting styles, right? And it kind of feels like like Yoshida is like, just be happy with what you have, trying to be like very controlling, but like offering everything that he has, and then Fami's just like straight up trying to like take advantage of him and trying to like intentionally burn him out, like for her own dreams, like I don't know, like maybe like a pageant mom, right? Um, oh, god damn, god fucking die, 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 ow, rude. I was trying to kill you, and you do this to me, terribly rude. Um, and it's like I think that's best exemplified by like the start of the Fire Devil arc with the Chainsaw Man Church versus the Public Defense Agency, right? Because you have Denji like being told by one hand like Chainsaw Man is awesome, and on the other hand he's being told never turn into Chainsaw Man again, right? And as a result, there's kind of this thing where he's getting different perspectives on it, and if both of these are antagonist groups, then the conclusion that I would reach thematically is that the story is going to come to the conclusion that he needs to find something in the middle, which I guess he needs to find a healthy relationship with being Chainsaw Man. And I think that's kind of like where it's going to end up. And I think that Asa could actually potentially be like a really good pathway for him to do that, right? Like, she doesn't just see Chainsaw Man as this like hero. She sees him as the hero version of Denji. Like, she contact with a human version of him, and it's like, right, that's what I was supposed to do over in that room. But I feel like that, like compared to like Fumiko specifically, right? Like Fumiko is just like, I guess not Fumiko specifically, but there's this element of like, okay, like Asa likes Chainsaw Man for the right reasons, and so maybe she could guide to Denji to being Chainsaw Man for the right reasons. I think that's a good way of putting it, right? I think that she could very much, especially since she's also a very frank person, right? Like, she's frank, but she's also kind of a simp, so she'll like tell him that like, like what's wrong with him, but then like the moment that like he might think that she doesn't love him, she'll like get all depressed about it, and then be like, no, I love you, right? Like that would be them, Oh, we're about to enter my favorite area. I have terrible taste, so this next area is my favorite, even though it's objectively one of the worst. I just love the aesthetic of it so much. I forget what it's called. Like Dorian or something like that. Anyways, um, I'm just it's so like it all comes back to the come hand, right? Because that's that's Crossroads, right? That's the Yu-Gi-Oh Crossroads being the come hand. Is Asa going to, you know, see the come hand and be like, oh, Denji, you poor thing, or is she going to have a mental breakdown and drive the two of them apart? And I'm just hoping that at some point, it does bring them together. I hope that the come hand is a bonding experience, right? Because, like, otherwise, why are we even here? Why are we even coming if it's not going to be a bonding experience for my ship, right? Like, what else is the point of an orgasm? Makes you think. Yeah, so I'm almost certain she will have a breakdown, but I feel like her angle will be towards Yoru. Yeah, and that's actually, because she's going to have an argument with herself, and like Denji is going to start asking questions, right? So this is going to be where he figures out who Yoru is, almost certainly. So the question is, how does Denji react to that, and how does Asa and Yoru deal with that? And it's almost like a Dairon, that's what it's called. Yeah, like she's gonna be like angry towards Yoru, and I think like this is part of like what makes me think that she might go against the plan, because like I can almost see Asa being like no, I changed my mind, I'm not doing this, and then Yoru being like, I'm not gonna give you a choice, I'm gonna take over your goddamn body, right? And like I don't even know how that's gonna like play out, because like if we do have like a scene like I predict where Asa tries to run away with him, like Yoru is gonna have to be on board with that, or otherwise be usurped. You know what I mean? Maybe it could just genuinely be like a power of will thing where like Asa is suddenly able to have like power over the body, right? You know what I mean? All of a sudden. There we go. And maybe that is how we do things, right? But I mean, like, I don't know, like the whole thing where it's like, oh yeah, and then she tells him that she wub him, and then they run away together, and everything is cool. Like, I'm almost like that feels too good. You know what I mean? Right? Like, it makes thematic sense, but like I'm holding my I'm not holding my breath for it. Well, I am holding my breath because I'm holding my breath to see what the fuck this madman comes up with. Like after a chapter like that, like just like 6 straight pages of like of full on Denji molestation. Oh, I was hanging on to ledge. Like where do you go? What do you do from that point? Have Chainsaw Man and Yoru fight? I don't think so. We have some discussion to do. And that discussion is going to completely change allegiances. Like, I mean, at the start of this arc, you saw how quickly, like, Katana Man just like suddenly joined like changed sides. If he learns that like we're not kicking Chainsaw Man's ass anymore. On the subject of Denji needing to find a healthy relationship with Chainsaw Man, then I think it makes sense that Asa needs to find a healthy relationship. Oh, that's such a good way of putting it. Oh, Alex, absolute madman. You're absolutely right, and I think there's. I mean, how fun would that be as like a place for this to go? You know, like it could be like Asa takes control against Yoru's wishes. She runs away with Denji, and then it's like they're like a quirky trio where like Yoru doesn't want to be there, right? And it's just like, Mom, Dad, I don't want to go on this road trip. And it's like that would be such a cute dynamic for Fujimoto to later use to break my heart. I'm in support of that. I feel like Yoru is going to get greeted by the end of this. I mean, I feel like that's pretty obvious, you know? Like, I mean Fujimoto, like, he finds ways to shake things up, but he doesn't do it by, like, not doing the obvious thing, you know? Like, not all the time. Like, if a character is marked for death, a lot of the time they're marked for death. And I feel like Yoru is just... I feel like she's gonna get greed, like, from Full Metal Alchemist did, you know? Like, she's gonna have, like, sacrifice herself, give her powers to Asa, and be like, you know, in the end, the greatest war of them all was the War of the Heart, or, like, something that's actually well written. You know what I mean? I am just... Like, that's the problem. That's the thing that makes me think that, like, Fujimoto is actually going to be, like, trying to redeem Yoru, is that she's too goddamn likable, and we've had too much time with her. And, like, she's too marked for a redemption arc. Like, it's just... Like she has been... Like, a big red R is just, like, plastered onto, like, her forehead at this point. She is going to get redeemed. The question is, how the fuck? Is it gonna be her feelings for Denji? That feels stupid enough to be true. You know what I mean? Right, it kind of crosses the line twice that it winds up being subversive again because it's too dumb of an idea that, like, Fujimoto might, like, take it up as a challenge to try to make it work. I am just... I feel like I've mostly processed those emotions, so I'm not sure how much longer the stream's gonna be. Anyone in chat, like, got, like, things about Chainsaw Man they want to talk about? Just think that's been, on their mind? I guess I'd also just, like, talk about, like, what romance manga I've been reading. I don't know. I've got a lot of Metroid Dread left. Yeah, too late on that. Okay, yeah, no, but, legitimately, so, like, a big hobby that I have is just going through, I go through, certain tags. Uh-oh! I go through these certain tags, on, MangaDex, just the advanced search. It's usually, like, uh-oh. I think a pretty... It's usually, like, romance, comedy, and then, like, a few negative tags, like incest, right? And... So, like, every now and... So I've got, like, So one of the things slowing down my computer is that I have 28 tabs open of, like, manga that seems interesting that I want to talk about, right? And I ran into, like, I think one of the stupidest manga concepts I've ever heard of. And it's like... It's like... It's one of those things that, like, wraps around back on itself that crosses the line twice. You know what I mean? Where... So it's about this... So you know how, like... there's all these quote unquote relatable like high school boy protagonists, and they're all like sex pests in these like shonen rom coms, right? Um, well, a secret to get me to like those protagonists is to give them a love interest as awful as they are. There's this one, I'm forgetting exactly what it's called, but so there's this guy, bottom of the school's social cast, probably because he's a pervert, um, who whose sole personality trait is that he loves staring at big boobs, and he's like an elitist about it too. Like he'll get mad at people for staring at big boobs the wrong way. Um, and there is this one girl with giant boobs in his class, and he's like, the only thing that makes me happy is staring at this woman's boobs. Uh-oh. And and like he's like, okay, but there's this one girl in his class who keeps getting in the way. Like literally getting in the way. Like she blocks his sight line on purpose, absolutely constantly. And for I guess thematic reasons, she's flat chested. Um, and I guess there's a joke about her being a wall. I don't know. But uh, basically, yeah, it's like she will not let him see this. And at first, and it's like, okay, well, I mean, she just seems to be in the right here. But then you get to the part where it's like, uh, I, it turns out that when she like turns around and sees the despair-filled look on his face when she blocks his line of sight, she gets really excited, and it's a fetish for her, and now she's got a crush on him. And I hesitate to call it a rom-com. It's more of it's just sad in a funny way, you know? And like it's not gonna hold my interest for very long, but it's just like, okay, wow, yeah, no, I can actually get behind a protagonist like this if his love interest is as awful as he is. Say what you will, those people deserve each other. And another thing that I found, like on the topic of like weird, I almost said weird sex stuff, but that is kind of like the best segue I can come up with. Um, there is this one manga. It art style wise, it looks like it was drawn way long ago, but I think it's like from the 2010s is when it started. Um, it's about this woman who goes around documenting like yokai and like ancient deities and stuff like that, and she is not afraid of them, even as they try to kill her. All of their attacks wind up ripping off her clothes so that she assumes that they're coming on to her. So she comes on to them, gets them super flustered, and almost has sex with them, but winds up accidentally killing them in the process. Um, and then she also has this one guy who's like this cameraman with a really like obvious crush on her, who keeps like trying to find the best angles to take like basically like, and he like asks them to like adjust their positions so that he can get like more erotic shots. And like they're very much on the same page, right? Like no one's like neither of them are taking advantage of each other. Like they're just like they are on the same page with all of this. And then like there was this twist, like the last thing I saw was like the twist where it's like she has a harem of like monster girls back at her house. And it's just like, doesn't it just make it feel so odd, the shit that people come up with? Um oh, I've been on topic of like romances that are actually like good and like arguably healthy. I have been rereading one of my favorite romance mangas of all time. It's called Destroy All Humans, They Can't Be Regenerated, which is a reference to the wording on the card text for a Magic the Gathering card. And the entire premise behind this manga is that it is about no wait, no, I want to do the shortcut. There we go. There we go. I did the shortcut. I'm a gamer. And the entire premise is that it's these two middle schoolers who hate each other because they're constantly completing for first and second place in their grade in terms of academics. And she's like a prude who's always like getting on him for playing Magic the Gathering in class. But then he goes to a new like local game store, and she's there, and she's kicking everyone's asses because she plays Magic the Gathering too. And then they become best friends, and they just literally are links automatically muted in this chat? Ah, shit, are they? Oh, I'm sorry. Are you linking to something? Oh, yeah, all right. God, there's like this weird scripted section. Yeah, what were you trying to link, Alex? No, I've just completely forgotten everything about this game, haven't I? There we go. But yeah, and they're just absolutely goddamn adorable, and you they just like, oh yeah, I was just saying that if you were interested, I could link the poster reference earlier for you to read whenever you have the time. What's your Reddit account? I can go check it out. While you do that, there's actually something I've been wanting to Archigo SR5. Nice, nice, nice. While that's happening, there's actually like a thing I've been wanting to try to figure out how to do. Can I pop out chat now? Yes, I can. Docs. Custom browser docs. Ah! No. There we go. Okay, cool. Okay, well, I got the browser doc. I don't know how to put it onto the goddamn OBS scene. All right, well, that was a nice experiment. Let me see here. Let me restore chat. Yeah. Oh, you got your own subreddit dedicated to you. Nice. When I've got my full stream set up, I don't have enough USB-C ports on my I don't have enough USB-C ports on my goddamn MacBook. So I don't have enough things on my MacBook in order to have my mouse, so I'm using the trackpad. All right, I'm just gonna start reading this, and yeah, hope you don't want me to stop because I'm in another tab. I've seen a lot of people across the internet talk about how they felt chapter 167 was unnecessary or just there for shock value, but I think the main point of this chapter was to highlight a potential change happening within Yoru. True, also based. From the moment she was introduced in the story, her sole mission was to find and kill Chainsaw Man. All of her actions from chapters 98 to 166 were in service of achieving that one goal. But now she went from trying to cut off Denji's dick to randomly kissing him in the alley for no apparent reason. This act did nothing to further her goals, and I think it would be interesting to explore how we got there in the first place. Oh yeah, we got like a thesis statement. I like this. It's all structured. You would have gotten a good grade for this in junior English class. Yoru is the second of the four horsemen that was introduced in this story, but it became very clear that she was very much different from Makima. Yoru is immature compared to her sisters. This shouldn't really be surprising, considering that compared to death, famine, and control, war is likely the most recent of these four fears that's come into existence. She's the youngest of the sisters. Oh! Makima was able to blend into human society because she had a strong grasp of human emotion and was able to use that knowledge to effortlessly manipulate people. In contrast to this, Yoru tells Asa in chapter 99 that the reason she kept her consciousness intact is because she is unfamiliar with human society and needed Asa's body to not blow her cover. And then in the very next scene, this is shown to us when Yoru asks a random boy, Yoshida, if she can make him her boyfriend, even though they only knew each other for less than 2 minutes. I'm just remembering that scene. Classic. In these moments, we are shown that Yoru has a very weak understanding of human emotions. She attempts to mimic behaviors she sees from humans. How long is this? Not that long. This is why Denji says that his dick is making him miserable. She nonchalantly suggests cutting it off. She doesn't understand the actual meaning behind his words and genuinely believes that chopping off his dick can actually fix the issue and allow her to fight Chainsaw Man. Love and war, love and war, love and war. All right. But because Yoru and Asa share the same brain, Yoru also shares her emotions when we see Yoru begins to feel affection towards Denji after their date at the aquarium. But not too long after this, a portion of Yoru and Asa's memories related to Denji were erased by Nayata, and they went their separate ways for a while. But now they are back together. All of those memories come flooding back when she and Denji were in that alley, along with all of the emotions Yoru and Asa felt back then, which then leads us to the kissing scene. This scene is awkward, uncomfortable, messy, confusing, and even somewhat terrifying. That's by design. I'd go as far as to say that it's the perfect depiction of a sexual encounter between two young hormonal people with little to no sexual experience and no formal sexual education. Have you been like saying stuff? No, you've just been listening. It's not the idyllic portrayal of teen romance where everything is communicated well and all of the mistakes that happen are cute and endearing. It's a big whirlwind of emotion where no one knows what to do, boundaries are likely to get crossed, and it leaves both parties confused and potentially hurt. This is possibly the first time Yoru has ever felt sexual desire towards someone, and she has no idea what to do with all of those emotions. The aftermath. It's hard to definitively say how Denji felt about all of this in the end. Yes, he did eventually end up kissing Yoru back, but consent is a bit more complicated than that. This whole situation is a lot more complicated than people give it credit for. At least to me, it seems like neither Denji nor Yoru expected things to escalate in the way that they did. Could Denji have enjoyed it? That's possible. Could he have felt violated? That's also possible. At least for now, I'd say it's best to just wait and see his reaction next week, get a better understanding of how he feels about everything. Need no rush to conclusions. Asa, on the other hand, is much simpler. Yoru completely hijacked her body to do what she did, and Asa's already explicitly expressed that she finds the idea of sex gross, so this is undoubtedly going to lead to conflict between the two of them. I can even potentially see Yoru feeling like Asa's emotions forced her to do what she did, so both of them will end up blaming each other for what happened. Oh, that's good. That's definitely going to happen. It doesn't seem like this situation with Yoru is meant to be the same as Denji's experience with other women like Himeno, Makima, or even Fumiko. I absolutely agree with that. These were all women who had power over him and made advances towards him with an understanding that they were breaking social norms. Completely agreed. None of them actually had held any genuine affection for Denji. Instead, this situation is meant to be a confusing mess of emotions for both parties involved. Asa and Yoru is the closest thing Denji has to a peer in all of Part 2, and neither side truly knows what they want anymore because they haven't had time to actually process their emotions. This is all a part of growing up. Yeah, no, this is a great post. This is a fantastic. This is a fantastic post. Good job. You did a good job with this post. Wait, hold on. Yeah, no. Sorry, I still don't know how to do this. Oh, I got a text. Yeah, I mean, this is probably a good time for me to end the stream. I'm just gonna find my way to a save spot, and then we can go our separate ways. Oh, but I do need to get this. Like I said earlier, I was seriously taken aback by the reaction I've seen online by the chapter. Yeah, no. It was like not to get like too into the discourse, but it was like a mix between people going like, "Wow, what an interesting and engaging chapter of my favorite manga, Chainsaw Man by Tatsuki Fujimoto." Then there are people like, "This is literally I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that word on stream, but like this is, completely unacceptable to depict in any context, and I can't believe you guys are okay with this." And then the rest of the people were like, haha, I read this chapter with one hand. And I think everyone can agree that those are the worst people who read this chapter. But yeah, no. One thing that I really like, so I kind of said that, implied this in a previous, in the video that I just posted. But one of the videos I'm working on right now is about Prison School, which is an anime and manga that I have a lot of respect for, and I think that doesn't get enough positive attention. And Chainsaw Man and Prison School actually are collectively unique in that they share a lot of very, very rare writing techniques. Um, and, you know, there's a lot of stuff like that. You know, the ways that they mix drama and comedy is like this pretty big thing. But, it's kind of reminding me, a lot of the reaction that I'm seeing to Chainsaw Man is like, you know, like Prison School was a thing that had things to say, and Chainsaw Man also, you know, no one ever took Prison School seriously as like something that might have had a message or I don't know, opinions on things. It was just assuming that everything was completely random. And a lot of people are doing the exact same thing with here. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's what motivates you to make the post. There's another place I was going for that, but like my mind just completely forgot it because I've had barely anything to eat today. I've only seen the memes from that show. I highly recommend it. I'm also going to be making a video on it sometime. I'm going to make it within the coming year, uploading in parts on my Patreon. Um, but yeah, no, it's oh yeah, that's what was going on. One of the two things that the two manga, Toski Fujimoto and Akira Hiramoto, both share in common is that they're very, very good at depicting sexual desire in a non-erotic way. Like, there are all these things in Prison School that are clearly meant to evoke eroticism for the characters, but not for the viewer. You know, there's this one thing of Hane Kawa, this one shot of her lips, and it's like this she's got these very full lips. It's very close up. You can't see her eyes. Like usually this kind of like symbolism is associated with like sensuality and like erotic content. But you know, she's smiling in it, and he made this very big point to draw her teeth incredibly crooked and almost unnerving. And like it's one of my favorite panels of all time. And it's just that's something that I really loved about this chapter, that it was like clearly like sexual arousal was a huge thematic component of it, but uh, I mean it wasn't like focused on titillating the audience to any extent, right? Like you know, it was just showing how like messy, how into it, and or I guess emotionally engaged. I'd say like all of them were, and like physically engaged, I guess you could say. God, this was awesome. All right, I wanna thank everyone who came to the stream. Thanks, Alex, for keeping me company. It was good to see that you were responding so many times. All right, later, heroes.